Mitram and Bandhuvam, Swagatam Vanakkam to South Asia Maps, your education channel. This is your presenter, Dr. Reddy. Biologically, humans are called Homo sapiens. Sapiens means wise, because that means a person gets two names, Latin names, according to the Swedish scientist Linnaeus, Linnaean nomenclature. Humans themselves named, though, so they call themselves sapiens or wise, Homo sapiens. If non-humans like simians and primates designated this, how human should have been designated is an interesting aspect nevertheless. The important point is, we are talking about the population explosion and population dynamics, population bomb on the planet Earth. This is a part 11 of our population series. This should be part, let's say, 12. Yeah, part 12. That means in this part, we talk about every day, today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, every day. We are adding a net population of 0.25 millions. That means the Indian context, it is 2.5 lakhs per day, today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. How long? A net population of every day, 250,000 humans are added to the planet Earth, the world. I will make this very easy, intuitive for my audience to remember. And this is, you are aware that our intellectual Kshatriyas education channel, and we have more than 330 or so presentations, so you can go and look at them. That is South Asia Maps Reddy. So this is our population series. I have more than like a 30 plus playlists, and I have put this in the playlist called Human Population, Human Demography for you to easily go and look at them. This is the part 12. Every day a net 0.05 million humans are added. In the previous presentation, we got 8 millions added per annum. And these are the other series. You can look at that. And how to remember easily? Let's say here, there is a row with 125,000 people. There is one more row again with 125. Again 125. This becomes around about 375 or so. Imagine 125,000 people here. Again you put 125. And just to knock out one row, you will get 125, 125. That is 250. 250,000 people or 2.5 lakh people in the Indian counting, or 1/4 million, 0.04 million. This is the net birth, 3 rows. This is the death per day, 1 row. This is net addition per day, 250,000 people. Every year 250,000 humans are added to the planet Earth. That is 0.25 million. Well, this is not a small number. A lot of people think, but this is a very, very big number to keep in mind, because this is a net addition. Today 1/4 million, tomorrow 1/4 million, again 1/4 million. You have to provide food for these people, the dresses. Most of the people now are Homo colossus, very aspirants. That means you have to provide the bikes, the two-wheelers, the four-wheelers. After four-wheeler, more luxury SUVs. Not talk about the washing machines, drying machines, snowmobiles, and their gizmos, the laptops, the cell phones, all these are resources, fossil fuels, energy consuming devices. You are expected to provide them, and people are putting a lot of pressure on the leaders and political parties and blaming these leaders that they are not getting these things as if the leaders create them. That is the called finding the alibi. This is not to say give the clean sheet for political leaders, but nevertheless they are not the ones we should be blaming for all our aspirations or all our expectations. That's what it is. So I took it from where we have looked at this many times, and this is the total birth per day. You can see the births per day, you can see the deaths per day. 385,000 and 162. So I rounded it up so that to make the things easier for you. 383,000 subtracting 161,000 will become 221,000. That is, we made it 225 or 250, we made it 1/4. Let's assume that means if you round this up, that will become 1/4 million, 1/4 million, 1/4 of a million. What does it mean? Let's say in a year you have 400 days. Suppose if you don't want to calculate much and get in a easy rough estimate, there are 400 days in a year instead of 365. Remember, 1/4 of that becomes half is 200 and again half is 100. That means 100 million people are added per day and per year, 100 million. But actually 80 million people are added per year. That is the exact. But if you think 100 million people are added per year, so you will not be totally wrong. That means we looked at it in the previous presentation 11. World, every year 80 million people or net population is added per year. So that's what it will be, a rough estimation. Among these, today on the planet Earth, as of 2022 November, the world bodies counted 8 billion person. That means 800 crores. We Homo sapiens, that is human animals, populate 1 billion on 2 Americas, 2 billion round about Europe and Africa, round about 3 billion in China and India, that is 1400, 1500, something like that. We rough. The rest of Asia 2 billion. So 2 and 3 is 5, 2 is 7, and 8 billion people live on the planet Earth. If you go to the Worldometer, you can monitor, you can see the Worldometer's info, world population. Again, if you see how many people are added per year. See, we are in the January, round about 6th. My local time is little more than the afternoon. See, by afternoon, now the time is, you see, 1:57, let's say 2 p.m., the local time. That means by 2 p.m. we have round about 106,000 people here. You can see is 106,000 people. Give it again, the double it round about, you get round about net population growth is 200,000. We made it 250 because that was taken at a particular time. Maybe the little bit adjustments are there. That's not a critical thing, that you can keep in mind. How you got this 106 is by 2 o'clock 213,000 are added and 107 deaths occurred. This is birth, this is the death, this is the... So this is the one place you can keep track. These figures that I have taken might be 2-3 years older, that may have a little difference, and if more family planning and birth control is done, and this figures may vary little different, but nevertheless that number stays. That's what we are trying to understand here. So this is the planet Earth, the 150,000 square kilometers. Today has a 8,000 billion people 8,000 million people, 8 billion. 8,000 divided by 150 gives round about 55 persons per square kilometers. And every day a net population of 250,000 is added, that is 1/4 of a million, 0.25 million. If there are 360 days in a year, 360 becomes 180. If you again half it, that 180 becomes 90. So we rounded it up to around about 80 million people are added per year. Every day you are adding 1/4 population. That is a humongous amount of the population. We have to keep in mind and try to discuss the issue. So I already has a lot of a population series you can look in the human ecology folder. There are many population series I discussed about, and other ecological issues like carrying capacity, taking over, drying down, and the new world world diachronic competition. All these things play a very critical role, and more important serious issue is now we are living in, this is the part 5 in the ecology series, human ecology. The humans today living on the planet Earth are not really Homo sapiens. Dr. Catton, who is one of the pioneering book like Bottleneck, Century and Overshoot, says these are giant humans consuming lot of resources with a big ecological footprint on the planet Earth. Lord Krishna and Yashoda used to see and wash her son. Now today, as soon as a child is born in a hospital with so much amount of energy resources, diapers are put around. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. What we are trying to discuss is lot of resources are put on humans in addition to food, the cars and gizmos, energy consumptions, and laptop, cell phones. So how can we provide in this little planet Earth that is round about 12,500 diameter and round about 40,000 or so the circumference. So that's the limited population. There is a limited land, limited water, and limited minerals, limited metals, aluminum and coal. All these are processed, churned, converted into laptops, food, industrial agriculture. So that's very, very important thing we have to keep in mind, rather than engaging in alibi speaking, talking about the politicians and blaming them, or not something like that. So that's what I wanted to talk about part 12. That is every day 1/4 million, that is 2.5 lakh humans are added on the planet Earth, and that is a very big humongous number, and we need to think about. Thank you very much, Mitro and Bandhuvam. And if you like the series, I really appreciate you take the time to access the site and bring it to the notice of our YouTube channel to your friends, and also love to hear your comments or any criticisms or any inputs. See you later in other presentation.